All right, welcome back, everyone. For our third session, we're going to jump straight into the deep end. We're talking about the internet. You know, that wild, wonderful, and sometimes pretty weird place that's a huge part of our lives. But it's got its dark corners. So let's figure out how to stay safe out there. I mean, think about it. The internet is incredible, right? It connects us with friends, family, endless information, you name it. And it's a big but. It's also a tool that can be used to drive people apart, to create these massive divides. It really is a double-edged sword, and you've got to know how to handle it.
And this is where we get to the heart of the issue for today. This isn't just some made-up scary story. Extremist groups are out there, right now, using the very same platforms we use every day. Social media, gaming chats, forums, to find people and pull them into their way of thinking.
So you might be wondering, how on earth do they do that? Well, one of the most powerful traps they use is something called an echo chamber. Let's pull back the curtain on this thing, because it's a sneaky way that online spaces can totally mess with your perception of what's real.
You've all done this, right? 1 minute you're just looking up a recipe, and 3 hours later you're an expert on medieval basket weaving. It's that classic online rabbit hole. And most of the time, it's totally harmless. But what happens when that rabbit hole doesn't lead to something quirky, but somewhere dangerous? That's what an echo chamber is. It's basically an online bubble. The algorithms on these sites, they're designed to show you more of what you already like to keep you clicking. But that can mean you end up only hearing one extreme point of view over and over and over again until it starts to feel normal, like it's the only truth out there. And here's how that trap is set. Step by step. It almost always starts with someone feeling a bit down, a bit isolated, maybe like they don't fit in. Then they stumble upon a group online that seems to get them. But then that group slowly becomes their whole world, feeding them nothing but extreme ideas, until their own thinking gets pushed further and further out.
Okay, I know this can all sound a bit abstract, a bit theoretical, so let's make it real. Let's look at a story of someone this actually happened to. Let's talk about a guy named Tom. Tom's just a normal bloke. He's an apprentice, just like you guys, in his early 30s. And like most of us, he spent a fair bit of his downtime scrolling through social media, checking out different online forums.
And this is where things took a seriously bad turn. He got sucked into one of these echo chambers. It was an online group that wasn't just chatting about politics. They were actually pushing for violence to get what they wanted. Now, who do you think noticed something was wrong? It wasn't the police or some government agency. Nope, it was his mates and his family. They saw he wasn't himself, and they got worried. They were his real first line of defense. And you know what? Because they had the guts to speak up, Tom got the help he needed. His mentor stepped in, not to shout at him, but to gently show him other sides of the story, to help him find some balance again. That one conversation changed everything and pulled Tom back from a really bad path.
Tom's story is so important because it shows that you can be the person who makes a difference. You don't have to be a superhero. You can be a digital first responder for your friends, family, and colleagues. So let's talk about how.
So what's the game plan? It's actually pretty simple. Just remember these 3 steps. First, notice. Just pay attention. If you see a mate sharing some really weird stuff or their behavior seems off, notice it. Second, talk. Don't be afraid to start a conversation. Just ask them about it, you know? Maybe suggest they check out a different point of view. And third, if you're seriously concerned, report it. Tell someone you trust.
Let's make that even more practical. If you see some dodgy content online, use the report button. If your mate is going down a weird path, have a chat. Help them find other more positive things to get into online. And maybe the biggest one of all, just be aware of what you're looking at. Keep your own online world balanced.
Okay, phew. We have covered a ton of ground there, looking at these online traps and what we can actually do about them. But now, the most important part. It's time to turn it over to you guys and get a conversation going.
But before we dive into the discussion, just hold on to this one key idea. Being aware is everything. That's the first step. It's not about being scared of the internet, it's about being smart. It's about looking out for yourself and for your mates. All right, let's get into it. Take a look at the questions up here. Let's start with number 1. How could you tell if you were in an echo chamber? What are the clues? What does it feel like? Let's hear what you think.